It's haulin' time. What is going on, all you true believers and newcomers alike? I'm Superfly Comics Guy, and it is that time of the month. No, not that time of the month. I'm talking about my Omnibus haul for the month of June 2022. Yes, I know it's July, but one of these books took a really long time getting here, so just shush, sit back, relax, enjoy. It'll be fine, I promise. But yeah, we got a lot of books to go through today, so I'm going to try to get to them as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, this won't be as in detail as my reviews because I haven't read these books yet. It'll be more of a first look overview type of thing, and I say that every time, but I still feel like I talk way too long about these books anyway. But nevertheless, I still hope you enjoy, and if you do find it helpful or entertaining, you know how to show it, and feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, whether it's what you think about these books, whether you've picked any of them up, or which ones you think I should read first. But yeah, let's start getting into these. We'll start with the non-omnibus material, and then later we'll do the omnibuses in ascending order of my personal excitement for them. So let's jump into this. Alright, so first up we've got a manga. What? Yup. We've got a manga featuring a particularly loud-mouthed, fourth-wall-breaking assassin. God, I wonder who that could be. You already know. It's Deadpool Samurai. I didn't even know this was a thing, and this is now the first manga I've ever owned. This was a gift from a friend who is a particularly avid manga reader, so I'm sure she knows what she's doing, giving this to me. And a perfect way to branch into manga, right? With superheroes being kind of my thing and comics and, a manga about Deadpool. It's like, yeah, of course. Why didn't we do this sooner? I do quite like that cover of Deadpool's mask with the red being a whole bunch of images of Deadpool and the black being all his arsenal, his guns. There's what the spine looks like. And the back. Everyone's favorite merc with the mouth has finally come to manga. Wow. So let's take a quick look at this. Let's dive in and start reading. Huh? What's this? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to start from the wrong side like a savage, but I found this funny. If you do that, there's an image of Deadpool here. He's like, what are you doing starting back here for? You're reading the wrong way. Oh, I feel like that's a really good sign that this will be a good read. Seems like they understand the character. But, let's see. Contents 1 through 7. Okay. Yeah, of course. Hopefully I didn't give any of you manga readers out there a heart attack by with my joke there, starting from the wrong end. But yeah, this looks like I've flipped through a little bit of this before, when I received it. And it actually looks really good. The artwork is really interesting. There's a lot of Marvel characters here that I wasn't expecting would be here, like Loki. I saw Captain America earlier, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Venom. I don't know, this looks like a really good read. And I think the reviews for this series have been really, really good. So this will be interesting to check out. I'm very happy I have it. And thank you very much to that friend who gifted this to me. You rock. Alright, for this next entry, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm grouping what is actually 5 books into one, but from what I understand, that's the only way to read them. You'll see what I mean. There we go. Jonathan Hickman's X-Men Saga. So we got House and Powers of X. We've got the X-Men by Jonathan Hickman Omni. The X of Swords hardcover, the X-Men Hellfire Gala, and Inferno. So, I'm not a huge X-Men guy. I do enjoy them, but I haven't really read much of them. But I did enjoy Astonishing X-Men enough to give more modern X-Men a try, so I figured, why not continue with Jonathan Hickman's 2019 X-Men Saga. And man, I did a bunch of research, and from what I understand, this is kind of like the essential reading material if you're going to read Jonathan Hickman's stuff. But it's like, man, let me show you this. It's like you have to read House and Powers of X first, and then like part of the X-Men Omni, and then X of Swords, and then X-Men Hellfire Gala, and then X-Men Inferno, and then I think you'll get a complete enough sense of the story. But we'll see how it goes. I know almost nothing about this. But I can give you guys a quick peek at some of the material inside. There's the dust jacket for House of X and Powers of X. I have heard some people call it House of X and Powers of 10. I'm not sure. That maybe that has something to do with the story. Again, I don't know enough to be able to comment on it. I have already stretched this out, so don't freak out that I'm just diving right in. But the artwork looks pretty cool. Hopefully, by reading all of these, it'll give me a good enough understanding. I won't be missing out on too much of the story. You know what? We might as well just crack open these other books while we're here, too. Why not? Take a look at them at least. So there is the X-Men Omnibus by Jonathan Hickman. I went with this cover, this direct market cover. There is a standard cover available, which I found to be supremely ugly, so I went with the other option. But yeah, there you go. Cover price of $75 US, $93.75 Canadian. Quickly show you under the dust jacket. Ah, yes, of course. Some nice X-Men Christmas wrapping paper. Very nice. It's a very strange spine design. It kind of reminds me of like what they're doing with their Silver Age books. It's a weird choice. But anyway, I do like that red though. Can't go wrong with red. Let's quickly stretch this boy out. Okay, all stretched out. The eye is sort of starting to form. We'll probably need a bit more stretches later, but I can worry about that once I'm closer to reading. I do know that the premise of this, of Jonathan Hickman's X-Men, is like the X-Men are living on Krakoa, or in Krakoa, and they've kind of established that as their own nation or whatever, and they're fed up with trying to be one with humanity or whatever. I don't know, I could be completely butchering the story, but the artwork looks, wow, actually pretty interesting. So yeah, we'll see. Let me quickly pop open those other books so we can take a quick look. Here we have X of Swords now. Very, very cool cover there. Very colorful. Again, a pretty basic spine design. And the back, no idea what that's about. Cover price, what was it? Like 100 US, 125 Canadian. And yeah, the reading order for this series is all kinds of all over the place, because you got X of Swords Creation, Stasis, Destruction, then it goes to X-Men for a bit, and then Excalibur, Marauders, X-Force, New Mutants, you name it. So yeah, not the most straightforward reading order. I see people asking about the reading order of this saga all the time. Here we are under the dust jacket. It's pretty nice. I like the sort of metallic look this has. Stretching time. There we go. There's X of Swords all stretched out. He's looking pretty nice. Looks like there might be some excess glue in there that I'll probably have to worry about later, but good enough for now. One thing I am noticing, this binding is really, really tight. Kind of reminds me of a DC book where it kind of tries to shut on you. Pages are average at best. Pretty thin, honestly. But anyway, looking pretty interesting. Let's quickly check out the other two books. Seeing as how I don't really have much to contribute about this series, we don't have to flip through the rest of these books. I can just quickly show you the outside. But yeah, if anyone's more familiar with this series, let me know. Let me know what to expect. No spoilers, obviously, but I'm a complete noob to this entire saga. I just felt curious and wanted to try it. So we will see. There's Hellfire Gala for you, and what I assume to be the final book in the saga, if my research is correct, Inferno. Not to be confused with the other Inferno event that already happened. So what is this, Inferno 2? You gotta love naming schemes in comic books. But there you go. But yeah, as I said, if anyone's more familiar with this saga, let me know what you thought about it. But yeah, that's that. That's this entry. 5 books in 1. Okay, so after probably butchering that last segment, we're back to one at a time. My home turf, the omnibuses, starting with Annihilation. So, if you watched my last month's haul, then you'll know I picked up Annihilation Conquest, so it only made sense to pick up Annihilation, which is the book that comes before Annihilation Conquest. This is the modern Marvel Cosmic Saga. So you have Annihilation, Annihilation Conquest, Road to War of Kings, and then Realm of Kings, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm by no means an authority on the cosmic side of Marvel, the Marvel Universe. But we got the standard cover here. Pretty cool cover featuring Nova, Drax, Super Skrull, Silver Surfer, Ronan, and the big bad ballsack chin boy, Thanos himself. Hopefully he doesn't get too upset at me for that. Hehehe. There's the spine. Ooh, featuring an image of... Oh, okay, that's just a snippet of the cover. And I very much like that. Drax standing off against Thanos there. Cover price is $125 US, $156 Canadian. Let's dive under here. There we are. Much better. Under the dust jacket, we have the same image as the dust jacket. Wow. And the spine and the back, all the same. So, you know the drill. Let's give her a quick stretch. And there we are. There is the spine, or the eye, after a first stretch. Looking pretty good. I gotta say, page quality is acceptable. It's not as bad as what's been coming out of the Turkey printer as of late. That's the printer in the country Turkey, not a printer that prints turkeys. Although how awesome would that be? Thanksgiving would be so much easier. But yeah, so this is the modern Marvel Cosmic Saga. Basically takes place at the same time as Civil War, except this is what's happening in space. So while the heroes are busy punching each other on the noggin, these characters are out in space trying to save the entire universe. So, you know, priorities, right? But yeah, I figured since I bought Annihilation Conquest, it only makes sense to buy Annihilation so that I can read what comes before. Heavy focus on Nova and Drax in this story, from what I understand. You get a lot of the backstory of Drax's family and what happened between him and Thanos, so should be pretty good. You always hear really good things about this entire saga. A lot of people say that this that Annihilation is like one of the best Marvel events ever. So, no pressure, but my expectations are pretty high. And up next we have the murder weapon of an omnibus that is Final Crisis. Look at this, guys. This thing is freaking huge. It's like a friggin' phone book times 2. But Final Crisis, Grant Morrison's big climactic event that capped off his run in the late 2000s in the DC universe. If you're not familiar with what a crisis is, it's basically a big crossover that DC likes to do with a bunch of their heroes every now and again. So you have Final Crisis. There's the OG, which was a Crisis on Infinite Earths. There was Infinite Crisis. I think the current one that's going on right now is Dark Crisis or something like that. So yeah, spoiler alert, this was not the Final Crisis, it's just Final Crisis. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't originally gonna get this, but cover price of this omnibus is $150 US, $195 in Canadian. I was able to get it for $70 Canadian. So I mean, at that price point, I was like, well, gotta do it. And I do enjoy Grant Morrison, so can't have much to lose. But I do hear this is a very confusing read. So we'll see how that goes. But let's dive under this plastic wrap. There we go. Oh God, somehow it seems even bigger when you take it out of the plastic wrap. But let's see what's under this dust jacket. Oh man. Okay, that's disappointing. I don't like it when DC does this plain, just embossed design for their omnibus. Is just this plain black, but whatever, I guess. You just gotta deal with it, I suppose. But let's stretch out this massive chonker. Okay, so that was one of the trickier stretches I've ever had to do just because of the size of this book. But for a 1,500 and something page book, that's not too bad of an eye. But I mean, when you have a book this big, I'm still expecting to see some pretty significant gutter loss. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, what I was saying before, dear Lord, just look at this cliff of pages that's forming as I'm flipping through. It's so massive. Anyway, what I was saying before is that this is the bookend to Grant Morrison's run in the DC universe. The big climactic finale to what they've been building upon in like their Batman run and stuff like that. And from what I understand, from what I've heard, this is a very, very confusing run to read. Some people have had to read it like 4 or 5 times just to be able to grasp everything that's going on because it's just so dense. But that's pretty common, pretty par for the course for Grant Morrison writing. I generally don't mind that. So we'll see. This should be interesting. But God knows where I'm going to find a comfortable spot to read this thing. Dear Lord, it's so big. All right, up next. If you watched my last haul, you'll know there was a volume 2 in there that I found for a stupidly low price. So now we're filling in that gap with a volume 1 of everybody's favorite mutant Canadian. Wolverine volume 1. There we are, featuring this iconic cover by Frank Miller. This is the standard cover, and I know there's at least one DM cover. There's a variant by Steve McNiven. I don't know if there's another variant cover. Maybe there is. I don't know. I'm tripping myself up. There is the spine. And here is the back. You got your Marvel cover gallery. A cover price of $100 US, 127 Canadian. I found this for $70, so I snatched it right up. Super easy way to bridge the gap to volume 2. So now I can start reading this whenever I want. Let's take a look under the dust jacket. There you are. There's that same cover by Frank Miller. I do like how they put they have the like classic comic styling, but they have the cover price of $100 US up there. I don't know. Little attention to detail like that is nice. Yeah, there's one of the. I think that's the DM cover, but I don't know if there's more than just this one. I don't know. But yeah, that's by Steve McNiven. An homage to that Frank Miller cover. I've already stretched the spine, so you don't mind if we take a quick peek inside you there, do you, Wolverine?
Go fuck yourself.
Well, that sounds like a yes to me, so let's just go. This is collecting a whole bunch of Wolverine's early material. You got your nice table of contents there, and yeah, you'll see this book jumps all over the place. So we have, I think it's meant to be in like chronological order, because you start in the 90s, and that starts with like his Weapon X origin story. But then you go back to like his first actual appearance, which was back in the 70s. And then you have 80s, early 80s, mid to late 80s, working your way towards the later 80s. Yeah, it's all over the place, but it'll probably make sense once you're reading it. There's the Weapon X origin story featuring some very colorful, trippy artwork here. I do quite like that. But yeah, this is the danger, man. You pick up a volume 2, and before too long, you find yourself picking up a volume 1, and you're down another rabbit hole before you know it. I swear, you got to be careful in this hobby. It helps to be very, very picky. But as I said, I do like Wolverine. I find him to be a very interesting character. So this should still be a good read. Up next, we have a book that I talked myself out of buying on at least 3 separate occasions, but lo and behold, here it still is. Thor Volume 1 by Jason Aaron, Russell Dodderman, and Esad Ribic. Yep, that's how you say his name. You see the accent on the C? Say it with me. Ribic. There you go, you learned something new today. But yeah, Thor by Jason Aaron serves partially as inspiration for the Thor Love and Thunder movie that has recently come out. There's the spine for you. And the back. Very, very different design. You don't have your typical cover gallery here. You just have a bunch of images, excerpts from the book. Cover price of $125 US, $156 Canadian. Why did I end up getting this? Well, because I only had to pay 70 Canadian for it. I don't know what it is about that number that I keep finding it. I guess I just keep getting lucky. 70 bucks. Couldn't say no because this is revered as one of the best Marvel series, arguably so far the best Thor run of all time. Let's dive under the plastic wrap and we can talk a bit more about it. There we are, under the plastic wrap, and up next, under the dust jacket. Oh yeah. I wish I could have gotten this DM cover, because this is sick. You got an awesome image here of Jane Foster Thor by Russell Dodderman. There is the spine. And the back. You got an image of Thor by Joe Quesada, which is another DM cover for this book. So this book has one standard cover, which is what you saw in the dust jacket, and these 2 DM covers. Let's take a quick stretch. There we are. After stretching, we got a decent eye starting to form. Very nice. But now we can kind of flip through some of the artwork here. Wow. But yeah, as I mentioned before, I talked myself out of buying this book so many times, mainly because I don't really care about Thor. He's never been a character that really interested me. But I kept hearing so many good things about it, even from people who were like me, who were like, didn't care about Thor, but they just really enjoyed the story, and they said the characters were awesome. And everyone says this is one of the best Marvel books in recent times, because this came out around like 2013, 2014. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And then the trailer for Thor Love and Thunder came out, and it was apparent that that movie would be taking a bunch of inspiration from this series. So I figured, you know what? Fine, I'll give it a shot, especially because I got it for 70 bucks. I really can't complain, so I'm sure this will be a fun read, and the artwork is looking pretty interesting too. So we shall see. Up next, we have Batman's favorite femme fatale.
Meow.
Catwoman of East End Omnibus by Ed Brubaker, Darwin Cook, Paul Galassi, and Cameron Stewart. And man, this is some very, very loose plastic wrap. I'm not sure what's up with that, so let's just get that off right away. There we are, much better, much easier to see. But yeah, this book I've heard very, very good things about. This is Ed Brubaker's run on Catwoman, and I'm a Brubaker fan. He does excellent crime writing, so you gotta believe that he would be a great fit for Catwoman. Catwoman is dead, or at least that's what she wants you to think. Interesting. Cover price of $100 US, $131 in Canada. I was able to get this for 52% off from in-stock trades. Awesome stuff. Let's take a look under the dust jacket. Wow. Even more awesome Darwin Cook artwork, which honestly could be a reason all on its own for you to get this book. He is a very talented artist. I have read Selina's Big Score as part of the Batman Ego and Other Tales Deluxe Edition book, but I don't think I've read any of this other material, so this will be interesting. Let's stretch it out. There we go. There is that eye after a first stretch, but man, is it just me? Or has DC really improved their binding in recent months? Because that's a really good eye. Yes, the binding is still pretty tight, but let me see. If I go to the beginning here, okay, so the book is still trying to shut, so that will require some more stretching out. But in terms of the eye, that was looking really good. And wow, take a look at some of this Darwin Cook artwork. It's very, very distinctive. One of those artists you can just look at a page and immediately recognize their work. But yeah, I don't really know much about this series other than it's critically acclaimed, and I think the best Catwoman run so far. Man, that's such a good image. That's so cool. If this is how the artwork is going to be throughout this entire book, which it's looking like it is, I'm really looking forward to this. This is awesome. It's a very unique style. But yeah, I heard great things about this, so looking forward to it. And last but not least, because this is the book I'm most excited for in this haul, we started the video with him, and now we're ending the video with him. We've got Deadpool and Josh Brolin. I mean Deadpool and Thanos. I mean Deadpool and...
Zip it, Thanos. We have a deal and you
Cable. That's the one. Deadpool and Cable. Man, I don't know how I managed to stumble across this, but I was able to snag this from an eBay auction that apparently not many people were paying attention to. So I was able to get this for undercover price, which is always a score when you're talking about out-of-print books. There is the spine and the back. I do really, really like that. That's awesome. Deadpool and Cable, the older brother and younger delinquent relationship. 125 US, 140 Canadian. Now this book is getting a reprint in 2023, but it's not going to have this cover. It's going to have a couple of different covers, so I'm actually really happy I was able to get this because out of the other covers I've seen, I really, really like this one. I still prefer it. Anyway, let's take a look under the dust jacket. Nice. We've got just what is basically just a black and white version of the main cover. There is the spine, and there is the back, a black and white version of the back. I've already stretched this so we can just dive right in. Red bookend pages. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, Deadpool and Cable, known for being one of the best places you can read Deadpool. One of some of his strongest material, written by Fabian Nicieza. Came out in the 2000s, I think. So you got some pretty modern looking artwork here. And I guess just some fun adventures with Deadpool and Cable. The first time I saw Deadpool, I think, was in the video game Ultimate Alliance. I remember he had like a really cool loading screen in that game where he was like shooting his gun and stuff. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, I feel like that loading screen would make like an awesome custom dust jacket for one of these omnibuses if anybody ever wants to make one. That'd be so cool. But yeah, I've pretty much, as soon as I saw him, I instantly fell in love with the character because he was funny, but he had like cool weapons and stuff, and he had a healing factor, so he was kind of like Wolverine. He had all these interesting connections in the Marvel universe, but then he has that quirky thing where he breaks the fourth wall too. So I figured, wouldn't be too long before I decided to try out a Deadpool omnibus one day, and here we are. I can't wait to dive into this. I'm sure it'll be great. But there we have it, guys. We're at the end of the haul. As always, if you stuck around through the whole thing, thank you so much. You're the real MVP. But yeah, let me know what you thought about these books, if you're picking any of these up, which ones you find to be the most interesting, which ones I should read first, and, let me know if you have any questions about any of these books, and I will do my best to help. But yeah, thank you so much for checking out another video. I hope to catch you in another one real soon. I've been Superfly Comics Guy, hoping you have a great day, and until next time, guys, keep reading. See ya.